Hello? And what if the future of healthcare, even in the most remote corners of the world, was being built right before our eyes? Today, we're going to talk about access to healthcare, and for that, we're diving into a truly inspiring story, an innovation story in Haiti. We're heading to Akwin, where an approach that combines cutting-edge technology and humanity is literally changing people's lives. So, to really grasp the scale of the revolution happening in Akwin, you first have to understand the immense challenge, the mountain to climb. In much of the country, and especially in rural areas, getting access to healthcare isn't just complicated, now it's a real daily struggle. That sentence says it all. You really have to imagine what that means. Hours and hours of walking just to find a health center, a terrible shortage of doctors and nurses, costs that are often far too high, not to mention roads or buildings that are in poor condition. For millions of people, seeing a doctor is a luxury. And then there's this chilling statistic. 85% of doctors trained in Haiti end up leaving for abroad. At this point, it's not even a brain drain anymore. It's a real hemorrhage. It drains the healthcare system of all its strength. The shortage of staff on the ground, well, that's where it comes from. And as if that weren't enough, there's poverty, a deep structural poverty. When you know that nearly 6 out of 10 people live on less than $4 a day, the question arises, how can you afford a doctor's visit, medication, or even just transportation to get medical care? Access to healthcare becomes mission impossible. But in the midst of this rather bleak picture, there's a seed of hope that's starting to grow. And it's not a promise for 10 years from now, no. It's a transformation that's happening right now, here and now. So welcome to Akwin in southern Haiti. This is where the future is being reinvented. So what is this new model of care? Well, it's an approach that starts with the community, led by a Haitian organization, HRDF, which has been working on the ground for nearly 40 years. The idea is definitely not to show up with ready-made solutions. No, it's about adapting incredible technologies to local realities. To make it clearer, let's imagine the scene. A woman in her somewhat isolated village isn't feeling well. Normally, she would have to prepare for a long journey, but not this time. She's welcomed by a community health worker, someone from her village whom she knows, but who is equipped with state-of-the-art tools. And this is where it gets fascinating. The health worker, just like that, pulls out their tablet and records the symptoms. Next, he does a blood analysis, but get this, without any needle, just a small sensor placed on her hand. In less than a minute, artificial intelligence analyzes all of it. And the result, a super clear summary for a doctor who can then start a video consultation almost immediately. But how is all this possible right in the middle of a rural area? Well, it's thanks to a well-designed mix of technologies. The internet comes from Starlink, the electricity from solar panels, and all the equipment, like the electrocardiogram he's holding in his hand, is designed to be sturdy and portable, so it can work far from major hospitals. Now, at a very important point, the role of artificial intelligence. Careful, we're not in a science fiction scenario where robots replace humans. Not at all. The philosophy is to use AI as a super assistant for doctors and nurses. And this partnership is really the key to everything. AI is an incredible tool. It organizes information, summarizes, and can even detect an emergency that a human might not have noticed right away. But AI has no empathy, no intuition. That's the doctor's role. It's the doctor who talks to the patient, who understands the context, and it's the doctor and only the doctor who makes the final decision. Technology helps, the human decides. Always. Okay, another very important question, trust. And what about the security of medical data in all this? The answer is a technology called Cardano blockchain. To put it simply, it's like a digital health record, which would be impossible to hack. Once information is in there, no one can change it or lose it. And confidentiality is absolute. But the best technology in the world is useless if people don't accept it. And that's why this project is so clever. There's a whole sociological study being conducted in parallel to understand how the population perceives these innovations. There's work being done on translation between Creole, French, English. In short, everything is being done to keep people at the center of it all. So this project isn't just an idea on paper. It's a reality that's being built day by day. Let's take a look at the concrete objectives and the impact this will have. For the first year of deployment, the goals are very clear. We're talking about 1,000 teleconsultations, training around 15 local healthcare professionals, and opening 3 sites. And honestly, the most important one is this one. The goal is to achieve over 90% patient satisfaction. That's the real measure of success. And the impact on people's lives is immediate. That means No more expensive trips that take days. It means diseases are detected much earlier. It means fairer access to quality healthcare for everyone, whether you live in the city or the countryside. The entire local healthcare system becomes stronger. And what's perhaps the most amazing thing about this story is that the equine model wasn't designed just for equine. From the very beginning, it was created to be copied, adapted, and deployed in other regions of Haiti. And even, why not, anywhere in the world where people face the same challenges. If there's only one thing to remember from all this, it would be this sentence. In Aquin, technology isn't something cold or dehumanizing. On the contrary, it becomes a bridge that helps, supports, and ultimately brings people closer to the care they desperately need. In the end, the story of Aquin raises a fundamental question for us. What if the future of healthcare for the most vulnerable wasn't a distant promise from Silicon Valley? And what if that future was already here, being built not in labs, but on the ground with the people? Maybe that's it, the greatest of all innovations. A huge, huge thank you. Thank you to the entire HRDF team, whether it's the people on the ground,
in Haiti, or for those working internationally on such an achievement, it never happens alone. First, there's collaboration with the Ministry of Health. This is crucial to ensure that the project fits well within the country's strategy. But above all, it's the direct partnership on the ground with the Aquin Hospital and the St. George's Health Center that makes all the difference. On one side, there's Florida International University, which brings a scientific framework and academic rigor. AMP Doctor 365 with its telemedicine platform, and on the other side, 121 consulting groups for everything related to biometric identification. But what's fascinating here is that we also have the expertise of Dr. Nasanovsky and Juan Sierra, who bring data security through the Cardano blockchain. We have the Rotary Clubs, with a special mention for the one in Weston, Florida. This really shows the strength of an international supportive network. And then there's CROSS, Catholic Outreach, a partner whose help is so important that it deserves a moment of focus. These few words are taken from the acknowledgments, which are addressed to them. And that's no small thing. We're not just talking about financial support, we're talking about a generous contribution in service of the most vulnerable.